Hey gang, Spencer Z1 Off-Road here. If you remember before, we did intake shootout with Brian's Frontier. Today, we've got the exhaust shootout for you. So, will we find that everything's equal quality, all the same, or will it be shots fired? Let's find out. All right guys, this is the ultimate performance and sound life-living test with exhaust that we're gonna give you for the Frontier. So if you're in the market, trying to figure out what's the right one for you, strap in and stay tuned. What we're gonna do is open boxes for all these exhausts. What we've got today was the Borla, Gibson, Magnaflow, MBRP, Banks Power, and Nismo. Those are exhausts that we could get in time to do the test. Some have been back ordered for months and months and months. So whenever we get a chance, we'll give you our impressions on those. We will compare all these to stock. We've captured a stock dyno, stock sound samples, stock ride-along. We will do the same for each of these. We'll give you an unboxing. We'll check them all, see how complete they are, what the initial quality is, if they're banged up, missing parts. We'll do the install, give you feedback on that. How easy was it? If you're at home, what do we think, is difficult or not? We will give you our initial dyno performance numbers, and then we'll give you the ride-along info. Now, this video is kind of a long one, so we'll put the info for the polls down below with the numbers, and at the end, we'll do a recap with which ones made what power, who the outright performance winner is, and which ones our staff favorite is for maybe living with it, We'll give you honest feedback. So if one is mind-blowingly drone, you'll find out in this video. All right, guys, strap in. All right, stock exhaust taken off from Z1. Let's see if we can get a peek interior. Whopping 78 decibels there. Let's try her at 55. No roll drone. It's a stock truck. Borla, trying to come in hot. I got a hat for you. Hardware kit looks like a couple of slip clamps, brochure, instruction guide. And looks very fancy color, printed both sides. All right. So, there you have it. Borla Type S muffler. Now you got slip joint construction. You do have to cut the exhaust on this truck. Since we have to restore this one to stock, we're not sure yet if we are going to get to do the install. But overall, looks decent. Does not get to take advantage of a performance gain for replacing Nissan's finely crafted merge connector. Show them the thing. Oh. All right, guys, there you have it. Borla, packed nice, looks complete to me. Threw in some swag for you, and hopefully we can get it installed here.
Mm-hmm.
so this is the Borla road test, and yeah, let's get it on. Less than 80 decibels inside under wide open throttle. I think maybe 74-ish it looked like on the acceleration through the pull. Kind of has the average. Cruising right now. Let's get down to 55. We're at 55 miles an hour. We are about 70 decibels. Quiet, like stock. Like stock. The note is a little different. It's reasonably clean. Some would say this is a refined exhaust. Yeah, not very aggressive. Let's try a little bit more. Alright. Right on 70 miles an hour there. And look out for this guy. Right on 70 miles an hour there. I don't know how he found his way onto our Mexican freeways. Just over 70 decibels. It's very quiet, like stock, at cruising speeds. It's a moderate acceleration. Sounds a little more there than stock for sure. You can hear it. Response feels fine. Doesn't feel like it lost anything down low. I like torque. Drivability is good. So I think it'll show okay numbers on the dyno. A little thick. All right, again, another slip fit style install, I take it. Aha! Do have two clamps. Very elaborate hardware. Looks like a sheet. For install, again, this is a cut to fit system. It's a little confusing, even though they do show and say, they say cat back. They often refer to a cat back as something that would be all the way up to the cats and not two pipes back after a merge. So not sure we take full advantage of that power, keeping the factory merge, but this is the Street Series system, which is made to fit like that with this giant exhaust pipe. All right. Magnaflow. Here we go. Sounds all right. Feels all right. Looks like we had a peak interior on the meter of about 78.9 decibels during the pull, and about 75, like through the pull is what it looked like it was reading. Let's see if we can find some drone. You can hear it; it's there, but not it's not shaking the cabin to death. We're about 70 miles an hour. High gear. About 2,500 there. Kind of feeling it a little in the cabin. It's got a little tingle. Kind of annoying. Stoplight. Okay, 2,500. It's just not. We're kind of right there. It's not full on headache drone, but there's like a twinge. It's I don't know. Not, it's there. It's a deep, clean sound. It's clean. Didn't sound all VQ rapish like most of the others. Maybe that's a different level of refinement. It's okay. It's. I'm old. It would get to me. Magnaflow. They're not shy on the staples at Gibson. All right. We've got Gibson Elite Black 3-inch catback. We have a full catback with front Y pipe. Has prefabbed kind of bell merge. Looks all right, probably effective. I would say nice bend work, little flyer, install guide, your sticker. You're gonna have clamps and a hanger clamp for what I believe is our canister muffler. Yo, it's just thick. It's got a nice, cool perf thing going on. Steps and drops through. Let's take a look at the tip. Got a pretty cool matte finish. Clamp on tip bolt guy here. Pretty slick. Gibson. think we can make it here. Okay, cruising. Pretty bearable. Really not bad. We're riding about 70 miles an hour now. Meter says we're bouncing around 70 dBA. We had a peak on the dig there of 88.1 decibels. Really didn't seem too much. Slow it down here and see if we can find any resonance spots. Seems pretty bearable. Not much else to it there. Gibson sounds all right. We got MBRP's aluminized catback. Also, not shy with the staples. All right, we get nice shredded cardboard blankets. Take a look. Similar clamp style muffler tip. You get nice polished finish with branding, little detail there. Important information about your new tip. Just let you know that they cover warranty for defects in manufacture and not like stone chips. You're smashing it off-road and don't call them. First one that we've looked at that has the merge right at the can. Ooh. Pretty straight through. I don't know if you can see the daylight on the other side of that thing or not, but it's there. All right, MBRP. Here we go. MBRP. Feels pretty good, gotta say. Not too loud. Looks like we had a peak interior, register 84.4. Cruising. We're like 73, 74 decibels. Got a little notes, not really resonating in the cabin, but you can hear it's there. Under Excel, you can definitely hear it. About 80 dB. And cruising at about 70. about 74, 75. I actually think it sounds a little tamer. So go faster, maybe. MBRP. All right, Banks power, monster exhaust looking well packaged. Did want to note, I got a seal on here and it says, please verify receipt of all parts before discarding carton or packaging. I think that could bring some concern, but I actually like it being in this game. I've run into everything with even the best suppliers. Sometimes something could happen and you may have to get one back. Probably not common with Banks, but if you've ever been in the situation, you don't have the box on the other end, it gets difficult. So great advice right off the rip. All right. Take it that's a hardware kit. We got a tip. Over an axle. Looks like they've retained the factory bracket for the factory mass damper. Oh, noise. Hanger clamp. Another hanger clamp. Looks like we've got front of our Y pipe there. Guessing that's our tip. It's a nice fabricated merge there. Now this a nice touch. Provided a heat shield there where you run under the trans, I guess. It's kind of nice. I haven't seen that on any of the others. Maybe that goes there. Get little Gale's mug smelling at you. Thanks. Something in here, it's got like weight to it. I gotta know. Oh, they're like plastic decal emblems. They're kind of got a little to them, you know. Pretty cool. Nice little Banks performance catalog and owner's manual for your exhaust system. Pretty good diagram work there. What nuts? We're almost there. Okay. Pretty cool. Banks monster. It's just all business there. You can, yeah. So another matte finish tip. The branding there. Pretty good shape. Looks nice. That look nice. Slip clamps. Plates. Gaskets like that. They've got it's like a mostly maybe graphite, multi-layer, steel reinforced gaskets, I guess. I like how they put them in between some cardboard so they don't get creased. Pretty smart. I have no clue, but we'll figure it out together. Thanks, power. All right. Banks power. This is the Banks power test. A max in-cabin reading of 79.9. Cruising 70 miles an hour. 73, we'd say. Let's try some different RPMs. It's noticeably louder than stock. Let's try the low end torque and see how the feel is. A little buzzy at like maybe just under 2,500, but not bad. The whole cabin's not shaking, so Banks power. All right, guys, Nismo, let's take a look. We've got the first to pull the double box on us there. Get gaskets and hardware. All right, so this is first one with the twin polished tips there. Cool Nismo etch. Looks to be TIG welded. I think everything else we've checked today has been MIG welded. It's like a nice sides and stuff on it, but not super in line. Pretty nice. And you got the muffler. Get your warranty reg info there. And cool Nismo plaque again. All TIG weld, looks real nice. Factory style hangers. We've sampled this one before, so a little bit more familiar firsthand with it than some of the others, but excited to see how they all stack up. So, Nismo. Nismo, take two, right along. Got about 80.5 decibels peak, between 73 and 76. Kind of seems like the range when we're getting on it. Really not bad. Sounds nice. You hear it there, it's clean. Not overly intrusive. Let's see if we can find some drone. Okay, we just cruised past the 1500 mark. Nothing, normal. Nice little growl, it's kind of quiet. Cruising at about 70 is right about 70 decibels. Pretty decent. Okay, here we go, 2250. You can hear it there, you got a little hum, not quite shaking inside. 2500. Seems like it's maybe fallen off, so I think it was worst. Maybe right there, but it doesn't seem really bad. Let's keep going. Seems like it keeps getting quieter. Let's go down a gear. 35, I think it's quieter. As far as resonance goes, we're maybe a couple decibels louder. 72, we're at 4250 just cruising. 45. drone at all. No drone at all. Nismo.
All right guys, so that didn't really work out as expected. Some of those installs were a bit more complicated than we had hoped for. We expected to have bolt-on exhaust. Now we've made this new graphic for fabrication required, maybe. That's how we're gonna treat them. So if you buy one of the iconed exhausts, make it fit. We gave you guys a new baseline since this truck was on bigger tires. We took the intake that was on it off. It still has the flash from before for when it had a drop-in filter. Stay with me now. So this was stock intake, stock air filter, nothing else done to the truck except bigger tires. And the lift, it has the new baseline we did with stock. We gave you the unboxings. We gave you our initial impressions looking at packaging, how quality it was, did it look complete, which all did pretty well. We went on to install, which we time-lapsed because, geez, this video is already so long. If you watched though, you saw those installs did not all go perfect. In fact, half of our aftermarket exhaust that we tried to fit didn't fit. It is what it is. We made it work so we could get the test for you. We wanted to provide sound samples. We wanted to provide power numbers. It matters to us and we think it matters to you. So we're just eating it on the difference of the exhaust. Of the three that had trouble, you may have noticed it was Banks. We had a little issue with the rear pipe. They're working to make that whole for us. We think we'll report back once we find out. Magnaflow and Gibson, not really feeling like we're getting the support on. Maybe that'll change. If it does, we'll post back. Currently though, didn't have the best results. If you had bought it as a bolt-on from us, we would encourage you to not do what we did in the video and then call us to do a return, because we could not do a return on that for you. We would love to be a resource on this part though, so just look for the icon on the site that we've created if we think fabrication may be required to make an exhaust fit, or if we think it's truly bolt-on. You'll see that icon. All right guys, so in the test, let's get to the meat and potatoes here. You saw through each run, we show you peak power gains on the graph. That is for the highest section that each line on the graph reads, horsepower or torque. You see what the peak change number is reported on the DynoJet. We, however, are going to report on a max change number we feel reflects better the characteristics of each exhaust system. The max change may appear at a different part of the graph that isn't the very peak, but generally the change we refer to covers something that has more of a span, more area under the curve or over to represent the change in the characteristics of the exhaust. We think this is most important when you're really looking at how you live with an exhaust, how it performs for you throughout the RPM band and not just at one 4,000 RPM number, since we have real transmissions and not CVTs, thank God. All right, so on to the results for max change. We had a baseline with stock. That had peak numbers 214, 235. Obviously full graph. We're going max change against that. Borla had a max change of 2.44 horsepower and 2.11 torque. Fit great, didn't sound too insane, very livable, awesome exhaust. If you're going to do high flow cats and you're worried about being too loud, Borla may be a great chance or a great opportunity for you. Magnaflow was our next install. Magnaflow did pretty good on the power numbers despite the challenges we had in getting it on the truck. Max change 8 horsepower, max torque change 7.47. Pretty decent. It actually drove great, felt great, performed well. It didn't feel like it lost power down low or anything. I was very happy. Gibson. This is why having this test is important. Gibson had a peak horsepower change of minus 8.59, as you saw on the graph, and minus 7.44, you saw before. That really wasn't reflective of of the characteristics of the Gibson, because the Gibson really lost 14.7 horsepower max and 12 torque. It also didn't fit. Gibson. Moving on, MBRP fit like a champ. It had a max horsepower change plus 7.37 plus 7.02 torque. Really like the MBRP, fit easy, super clean install, looks good, sounds good. Next up was the Banks Power. I really liked the Banks Power, how it came packaged. It was like compact, easy to handle. Parts looked good, you got Gale smiling at you and stuff, it was awesome. Banks Power made really good power with a max change plus 12.68 horsepower plus 10.42 torque. The highest max change of all our exhaust. After that we had the Nismo. Nismo had a very small peak horsepower changes, 1.36, 1.14 torque peak. Max change though, way up in the RPM, it lost power, minus 5.4 horsepower, minus 6.37 torque. My, that chart does not look like we thought it was going to look going into this. Who knew we'd be going this way? So that's how it tested out. Real quick recap on the power rankings from worst to best: Gibson, stock, Nismo, Borla, MBRP, Magnaflow, and it didn't fit, but it made the most power, Banks Power. Sounded good too, I like Banks Power. I would really want to make it fit, but it's just not bolt on yet there, so it can't take the title of the Z1 Fave because we want to offer you what we think was provided from the manufacturer as they sell it, which is a bolt-on exhaust system. So Z1 Faves, we really didn't even want to rank the bottom half as being Fave necessarily, because Gibson, maybe it would be better to just drive your truck into a lake because it lost power and it didn't fit and you're gonna be angry. I'm giving you the news here. Stock, you didn't have to do anything and it sounded all right, unless it's worn out and you want to replace it or you want to upgrade it. You can keep following along here. Magnaflow, you're feeling handy with the steel, maybe a weld action. Magnaflow's a good option. I think it's a good value, sounded good, and it performed well. It just didn't bolt on. Borla. The Borla looked great, it fit great. It came with a hat. It sounded all right, it was quiet. The Borla was nice, still a cut to fit exhaust, but didn't make much power on its own. Nismo looked the best. I think it's one of the best sounding. It is easy to install. It carries Nismo branding. Did not make insane power by itself in this test, but we still like it for our number 3 slot compared to the others. Second place, Banks Power. So close. We're gonna get that thing fixed, I'm sure. Once we know that's all resolved, we will do a recap here, we'll comment, we'll update the notes on the subtitle here, and we'll let you know who the power winner is. But until that point, it can only hold down the second place because it takes a little extra work. Maybe worth it to you, but currently we say it takes a little extra work to make that Banks Power fit. At least the sample we had. MBRP, easy install, sounded good. We feel like it's a good value, great price exhaust. You got options to get it in aluminized steel or in stainless. And that is the exhaust that Ace employee Brian chose to purchase and put on his truck. We were happy to take it back down and reinstall it for him because it was so easy. It was awesome. All right, so this is a straight up exhaust only test. You guys know we've done the intake test. We think it was a big hit. Now we've done the exhaust solo test. Weird to put a car back to stock or truck back to stock for us, by the way, but we've done it. What do we want to do next? We want to combine these things and see like what are the max repeatable types of gains can we do with intake and exhaust and tuning. We do believe they're going to be complementary. We think there's more power to be had than just the intake test. We want to know so much so that before we left off the dyno, we threw an intake back on that thing, and guess what? It made more power. So you want to find out what's the best combo, what works the best? Make sure to hit that button. Come back for the next one.